Good morning, fathers of daughters. This is FRB Martin, and welcome to another live stream. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Girl Dad YouTube channel is in the house. I welcome all fathers, regardless of your ethnic group, background, and or culture. All fathers are welcome, and thank you for being present. This is another live stream, fathers of daughters. Mi amigos, bienvenidos. Aquí, ¿cómo te sientes? Hoy, gracias. Okay, fathers, I appreciate you. Thank you for being present this morning. All right, fathers, we got another live stream today. We're going to be discussing fathers of daughters, how to create a positive world. Let me repeat that. Fathers of daughters, how to create a positive world. So, fathers, I just want to share with you, being the father of 4 adult daughters, 36, 30, 26, and 23. We are living in a crazy world today, fathers, and you know this by raising your baby girls. We are living in a world that's unsettled. We are living in a world that is crazy. We are living in a world that anything goes. We are living in a world of social media platforms that are steering our daughters in the wrong direction. We are living in a world where our daughters are comparing themselves to unrealistic expectations and unrealistic goals. So, as fathers of daughters, we have a lot on our plates, fathers. And one of the things that's going to be on our plate that we are 100% responsible for is ensuring that our children are kind, that our baby girls are reared in a world where they see kindness, empathy, compassion, understanding, love that could come from their fathers. So, fathers, living in a world today where it's mad. It's completely mad, right? We have a lot of challenges before us, fathers, right? And one of the things that I taught my baby girls when I was rearing them, birth to 18 years of age, is I taught all my daughters how to love unconditionally. I taught all my daughters compassion. I taught all my daughters empathy. I taught all my daughters kindness. And the reason that we need to do those things, fathers, is because all children do not come from the same environment. Our baby girls, when they're in elementary school, middle school, and high school, they're going to come across other human beings, other little girls that are different than them, culturally, language, spiritually, religiously. One of the things I taught my daughters, it matters how you leave a situation because you control that. It doesn't matter what people think about you. It doesn't matter what people call you. It matters what you answer to. But leaving a situation, I taught my daughters, with your head up always is a critical piece of your humanity. It's a critical piece to help you separate yourselves from every other human. I taught my daughters compassion and empathy will go a lot further than any materialistic thing that can be purchased, that could be bought, that could be owned. I taught my baby girls compassion, empathy, kindness is going to get you a lot further in life than anything. So, fathers, I have some great videos I want to share with you today. And the videos I'm sharing with you, fathers, they're all in the description. We're talking about compassion, empathy, and kindness. We're talking about having our daughters being a better world for themselves, believing in other humans. Don't get distracted. Don't be distracted or get distracted by the foolishness and the nonsense of social media platforms, because social media platforms are damaging to our children. They are, but there's no way around it because the technology is here. So our part, fathers, is to always show our daughters protection and safety and to show them the other side, to have them exist in a world that is kind, because the world's not going to be kind to them. But when you have compassion and when you have empathy and when you have kindness, Your character, your integrity goes a lot further in life. People will remember you for how you treated them. That's what's most important. That is what's most important. How you treat individuals, because the world's not fair and it's not going to be fair to you. But fairness, I've always lived by fairness, because I believe when you treat a person fair, you're not treating them the same. See, you can't treat everyone the same, but if you're fair to people, if you're fair to other humans, that's the best that you can give them. And it's 100% on us fathers to show our daughters to go in that direction, to let them believe in themselves, to help them with their self-esteem. It's our responsibility, fathers, always to keep them protected and safe. But we have to model what that looks like, fathers of daughters, grow dads. We have to give them instruction. We have to give our baby girls guidance. We have to be able to explain the whys. That's what they're looking for, fathers. But it's through our example that our baby girls will fall into place and they will fall in line. I can promise you, I have 4 adult amazing daughters. My daughters are incredible women, professionally and personally. They're amazing women, and I can't get enough of my daughters. I would not be the man that I am today if it wasn't for my 4 baby girls. They are amazing. They have made me a better man, a better human being, a better father. So fathers, I need your attention. I need you to process these videos. I need you to dig deep to have an understanding of what our full responsibilities are for our baby girls. Okay? Because as long as we take that lead, they will follow, I promise you. Some of you fathers that may be struggling with your baby girls today, there may be a disconnect. I encourage you, never give up on your baby girls under any circumstances. It could be hard. It could be tough. It may seem like there's no light at the end of the tunnel. But fathers, I want to encourage you. You got to stick in there and you got to hang in there for your baby girls. Because if you failed them, they will definitely fail themselves, because the world is waiting for them. And the world doesn't give a damn about our baby girls. But what we can teach them and show them through our own example: kindness, compassion, empathy is a way of life. It's good. It's a good thing to leave those feeling good about themselves. Put yourselves in other people's shoes. You can never live their life, but compassion and empathy and kindness will allow you to help them, will allow you to help yourself become better as a human being. Okay, fathers, so I need your attention. Process these videos, fathers, today. Okay? I've got some great videos. I got about 6 or 7 videos I'm going to be sharing, fathers. All right? Let's get into these videos, grow dads.
A.D. Williams once said, "Imagine what 7 billion humans could accomplish if we loved and respected one another." Just imagine. Imagine if there was no greed. Imagine if there was no comparison. If everyone was running their own race, but cheering for all others at the same time. Maybe we'll never see that in our lifetime. But what we all can do is start with ourselves. Start with yourself. Choose to lift others up. Choose to set the example of kindness and integrity, the example of compassion and understanding. There's a quote that says, "No matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all." Integrity is everything. It really is. Who you are is far more important than what you have, and it will always be. Who you are is measured by how you make others feel. Be kind to each other. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Choose to be the change you wish to see in the world. Decide you will not wait for someone else. You will set the example. Be kind, because you never know how much that person is suffering inside. You never know the difference your words can make, the difference your presence can make, the difference you can make to one human life. Be the reason someone believes in the goodness of humanity. Be the reason someone else decides to make a difference in others. Be the influence you want to see more of. Always do what is right, not what is easy in the moment. Kindness spreads like a virus. When you do good to another, that person does better to those they come in contact with. You really can make a big difference in the world today and every other day. Anne Frank said, in the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit. No one has ever made themselves great by showing how small another is. Be kind and always build others up to the best of your ability. Treat everyone with the same level of kindness that you would like for yourself. Not because everyone is nice, but because you are. Because karma makes no mistakes. Because it is right. Because you have integrity. Because you want this world to be better when you leave than when you arrive.
Today, we are continuing our Kindness 101 series with Steve Hartman. In it, we share stories built around kindness and character and the people who have mastered those qualities. Today's lesson is listening. Steve and his kids introduce us to a man whose greatest gift isn't what he says out loud, but his kindness when he's not speaking.
Good morning. I'm here with my daughter, Meryl.
Hi, everyone. Today we're talking about not talking, or otherwise known as listening.
Emmett, at the dictionary desk, how would you define this word?
For our purposes here, I would define listening as showing respect with your ears.
Ooh, with your ears. Getting fancy with the definitions.
I like that.
Yeah. Listening is actually one of the best ways to show someone you care or to make friends, which is kind of counterintuitive. Like, how could listening help you make friends?
It's just nice to know someone's listening, that somebody cares, that somebody will always be there for you.
And like to know that their opinion matters.
Exactly. To prove the point, let's turn now to our library of great American role models and pull a story guaranteed to make you a better person, if only you listen. In St. Van Al, I have the Al. He joins us now. Hello.
How's everyone doing?
We're doing great, thank you.
If people started talking less and listening more, how do you think it would change their lives?
In my opinion, I think you learn when you speak less and listen more.
How far away do people come to see you?
From all over the country and different parts of the world.
Why do you think people come from far and wide?
They want selfies and they want to sit on the bench. They want to actually be on that bench with me.
Do you think it helps you as much as it helps them?
Yes, I think it helps me in the sense that I know what I'm meant to do.
Yeah.
To know your purpose is practically the meaning of life.
You're a beautiful man. I know it probably makes you uncomfortable to say as many words as you had to today, but we really appreciate you talking with us.
Thank you very much. And kindness matters. And one of the greatest ways you can show kindness is to care enough to listen.
Great. Thank you so much, Al.
You're welcome, Steve.
You know, I find it helpful sometimes when I'm in a conversation to think of how many words I'm saying versus how many words the other person is saying. And I try to keep it to one word for me for every 2 words for them. And I think if everybody did that, the world would be a kinder place.
Wait a second. That wouldn't work out mathematically. Not everyone can do that.
He needs to know when to listen. We'll see you next time.
Until then, stay kind.
I mean, there's so much wisdom tucked in that. When you listen, you learn more than when you're talking. I think that's true, and that's all I have to say about that.
John Tower told me, just listen, Gail.
Gail.
Say nothing. I'm just listening.
Compassion is ranked as a great virtue in numerous philosophies and is considered among the greatest of virtues in almost all world religions. Compassion is a concern for the welfare and well-being of others. It embodies a tangible expression of love for those who are suffering. Closely associated with benevolence, empathy, humanity, kindness, mercy, and tenderness, true compassion is the ability to be sympathetic and empathetic, as well as having the desire to alleviate another's pain and suffering, and to also offer understanding, kindness, acceptance, and forgiveness to others when they fail or make mistakes, rather than judging harshly. Compassion motivates us to help others. It helps us to see beyond our own self-interest by directing our attention towards the suffering of others and inspiring us to help them. Compassion leads to positive intentions and genuine concern for others. The qualities of compassion are patience and wisdom, kindness and perseverance, and warmth and resolve. It is not pity, not attachment, not wishful thinking, and not self-regard. Compassion is a necessity, not a luxury. It is a question of human survival. In Christianity, God is spoken of as the Father of compassion. Jesus embodies the very essence of compassion and challenges his followers to forsake their own desires and act compassionately towards others. In Islam, the foremost among God's attributes are mercy and compassion. In Judaism, God is the compassionate and is invoked as the Father of compassion. In Buddhism, compassion is one of the 4 immeasurables. In Hinduism, it is a noble virtue with many shades and a source of dharmic life. to treat all living beings as one's own self, wanting the welfare and prosperity of other living beings. All pathways to God, truth, reality, and self-realization renounce falsity and are devoted to that which radiates love, peace, holiness, compassion, forgiveness, mercy, and charity. Higher compassion is for the collective consciousness of humanity as a whole. Raise your level of consciousness and raise the world.
Help you?
Smile and learn.
Hello, friends! Do you know what we're going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about... Oopsie. I think I forgot. What are we going to talk about today, Tony?
My, Luis. Today we're going to talk about empathy.
That's right! So, what is empathy?
Don't worry, I'll tell you all about it. We feel empathy when we put ourselves in someone else's position, understanding and comprehending their emotions and feelings.
I don't think I understand that very well. What if you explained it to me with an example?
Sure. Imagine Sparky, my doggy, is sick, and I have to take him to the vet.
Oh no, Tony! I'm so very sorry. You must be really worried, right? I can imagine how you must be feeling.
That's empathy, putting yourself in my place and understanding how I feel. In this case, you can feel how worried I am about Sparky.
Ah, I think I'm beginning to understand.
Now, this time, let's imagine that your brother gets home from school feeling very sad. He scored really low in his test, and he had studied quite hard for it.
I'm sure he's in a bad mood. He must be very sad. He studied a lot for this exam. Knowing he feels this way makes me sad too.
That's it. Feeling empathy is putting yourself in your brother's place.
I see.
Now you know what empathy is. You have managed to understand how other people feel.
Woohoo! You're right. Now I get it.
How about you? Yes, you watching this video. Did you understand what empathy is? This is my trick to practice empathy. If you see someone who doesn't feel quite okay, first observe, how might this person be feeling? Then think, how would I feel if I were this person? And finally, ask this person, how are you feeling? Can I help you? Very well. Now, let's look at a situation where we can show empathy. Imagine Clara lost her favorite pencil. First, observe. How do you think Clara is feeling? Second, think. How would you feel if you, too, lost something you really liked? And finally, ask her, "How can I help you?" Excellent. You did an amazing job.
Now we know that empathy means putting ourselves in the place of others, understanding their emotions in certain situations.
That's right, Luis. Always try to be empathetic.
See you soon!
Did you like the video? We have so many more. Subscribe by clicking on the seal. And if you want to keep watching more videos, click on the boxes.
They tell you that they know what you're Sympathy, empathy, compassion. These three words often get used synonymously, but there are some important differences. When you think of compassion in particular, what comes to mind? How is it different or similar to sympathy and empathy? It can be tricky to tell between them to begin with, but knowing what compassion really is crucial when researching these topics. Here at the Compassion Research Lab, we've conducted extensive research on compassion. We've looked long and hard at what it is and how it differs from sympathy and empathy. We did this by reviewing the scientific literature and by speaking with patients directly about their experiences. Both the literature we reviewed and the patients we spoke to gave us a comprehensive understanding of the true nature of compassion. To illustrate, let's imagine you're a patient recently diagnosed with cancer. Your outlook is good, but you're worried. On top of all of this, it's happened right in the middle of a big move. Hearing about this, you notice your family, friends, co-workers, and healthcare providers all react in different ways. Oh my goodness, that sounds awful. Are you going to be okay? I'm so sorry. It must be horrible. Thinking of you, this is sympathy. It's a pity-based response based on a lack of understanding. It makes people say things that make them feel better, but it doesn't do much for you. Then there are others that try to understand what it would be like for them if they were in your situation by trying to feel what you are feeling. They tell you that they know what you're going through. They imagine what it would be like for them to be in your shoes. They might tell you that they have gone through something similar. This is empathy. It makes you feel heard, understood, and a bit better about your situation. But then there are those who try to really understand what it is like for you, to feel what you feel, and who aren't afraid to suffer with you and to do something to help. They actively listen, they're kind, they're loving, and they genuinely seek to understand you and your unique needs. But then they go one step further and show up on the weekend to help out with the big move. They haven't said they feel sorry for you. They haven't just understood you. They have been selfless and done something to help. They aren't afraid to engage you in your suffering. They understand you and what you actually need, not just what they would want if they were in your shoes. Most important of all, they actually do something to improve your situation. That is compassion. Sympathy, empathy, and compassion may seem similar, but for those experiencing suffering, the differences are obvious and impactful. Patients told us that sympathy was unwelcomed and unhelpful. They told us that empathy was better because it attempted to understand what it would be like to be in another person's shoes. But compassion took things to the next level by understanding and addressing a patient's needs in a personalized manner, not just through words or feelings, but by putting their ego aside and by getting their hands dirty in order to actively engage and alleviate a person's suffering.
balm for any lonely and troubled.
Empathy is one of the most beautiful things in this world. It creates connection, clears away conflict, and reduces emotional pain. It's a healing balm for any lonely and troubled heart, and a crucial skill to have for every single person on this planet. Whether you're a leader, a coach, a parent, a coworker, or a friend to someone, stay tuned to find out how you can increase and express empathy in your relationships. Hey everyone, I'm Micah, and this is Becoming an Expert at Self-Leadership, the channel all about flourishing in life. Today, I want to talk about empathy. Empathy is the magic that happens when we make the effort to understand someone else's feelings, perspective, and experience. Being understood makes others feel seen, valued, heard, and it gives them strength. When someone reacts with empathy, it gives the other person the space to really open up without the fear of being judged. And that, on the other hand, creates closeness and trust, and it deepens relationships. And although empathy is magic, you don't have to be a wizard to manifest it. Empathy is a skill that we can practice. And once we know how it works, it's really not that hard. I'd like to start this video out by discussing what empathy is not, what a non-empathic reaction can look like, and then get to 5 ways of expressing true empathy. What empathy is not. Empathy is not feeling sorry for someone. It's truly being there for them by giving them emotional and mental support. Empathy is also not being swallowed up by someone else's feelings. There's definitely a resonance between what they're feeling and the part in us that knows that feeling, but it doesn't mean losing contact to the rest of our being and experience. Empathy stays grounded in our own strength and resilience. There's a video on this channel about that, so if you want to hear more, I'll link it up here. Empathy is also not knowing what the other person is going through because we've gone through exactly the same thing. We can be empathic even if we've never experienced anything like what the person is going through. And even if we've experienced something similar, it's important to keep in mind that everyone's experience is always different and individual. And the most important point on this list of what empathy is not decreasing our own discomfort by minimizing what the other person is going through. These are reactions like, well, at least you still have your job, or you'll get over it, or wait till you hear what happened to Susan. Empathy means to be willing to open up to someone else's perspective, especially when what they are going through is uncomfortable. How to be empathic. Number 1, listen. First and foremostly, empathy is a listening skill. And I think the reason that empathy is relatively rare is because it seems so unspectacular and easy. Don't other forms of reaction seem so much bigger and better? Isn't it a lot more effective to come swooping in with that one piece of advice that solves everything? Or isn't it better to take the person's mind off of their problems by sharing a story of something similar that happened to you? And sure, sharing advice and stories can be helpful and they have their place, but not before empathy. Empathy needs to come first and to be given the proper space. And since empathy means to understand someone else's perspective, reacting empathically means reacting in a way that allows you to gain that understanding. And the way we can do that is by listening. This means to let the other person talk, to show that you're listening with your body language, and something called social grunting, which are these noises that we make that show that we're listening, like, It means putting aside the commentary of your mind, not judging the other person like, well, you're such a whatever, or blaming them like, it's your own fault. This happened to you because you did this or that. It's taking on the mindset of someone who's learning. It's entering that interaction knowing that you don't know. The way our mind pays attention is that it looks for the things that we already know to confirm what we already know. And empathy requires an openness to be surprised. Otherwise, we might miss important points of the other person's experience and perspective. So enter the interaction ready to be surprised, to hear something that you didn't expect to hear, and to just be open to whatever it is the other person is sharing. Number 2, ask for elaboration. So empathy is not just about being silent and listening, it's also making even more room to truly understand by asking for elaboration on things that are unclear to you. That way you can understand the situation in even more depth. You can do this by asking things like, what do you mean when you say XYZ? Or what was going through your mind when that happened? What did you feel when that happened? Number 3, paraphrase. So from time to time, you can summarize what you've understood so far, and then ask the other person to either confirm, correct, or add on to that. And again, this deepens your empathy because it deepens your understanding of the situation. You can start a paraphrase with sentence beginnings like, I'm hearing you say that, or so you're saying that. Tell me if I understood. If I understood correctly. Did I get it right that? Or so from your experience, you would say. Number 4, verbalize. This is something you can do to bring even more empathy into a conversation when you get the sense that there's something that isn't being addressed, when the conversation is on just the level of the facts and the flow of the story without addressing the person's experience and feelings. And verbalizing means to express the feelings and needs you hear the other person saying in the tone of their voice, their body language, or the things that they're hinting at without saying directly. And a verbalization can start with sentence beginnings like, it sounds like you're really upset about this. That must have been emotionally challenging. You seem really disappointed. I assume you're feeling, I have the impression that, or so what you want is for your perspective to be included in that decision. So you're bringing to the table what you are sensing the other person is feeling or needs. And you don't have to worry about getting it wrong too much. Verbalizing isn't about reading minds and correctly guessing what someone else is going through. It's more about just opening the conversation to that dimension. Giving that sign of interest and care that encourages the other person to open that level of their experience up to you, knowing that you're all in to hear what they have to say on that level. Number 5, validate. So what validating does, it allows the other person to feel safe with you, to really open up, knowing that you're not going to judge their reaction to the situation. It allows the other person to feel okay with their authentic thoughts and feelings and not feel like they shouldn't be feeling what they're feeling or thinking what they're thinking. And that in the face of everything they're going through, their reaction makes sense to you and is understandable and, from what you can tell, natural. And sentence beginnings for a validation could be, most people would, it's okay to be upset. It's natural to feel this when that happened. I understand why you feel that way. This is a challenging situation. And the main message of a validation is, that's understandable. So these are 5 tools you can use to express and increase empathy in your relationships. Let me know how it goes if you try any one of them, or how it's gone for you in the past if you've tried these before. And if this is the first video you're watching on this channel and you would like to see more like this, remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And you can really support this channel by leaving a comment, a like, and sharing the video with your friends and family. Till next time, take care, and remember that with empathy, it's less the shiny and flashy reactions that are helpful and more the quiet ones that facilitate closeness.
Okay, fathers. Another successful live stream. Fathers of Daughters, How to Create a Positive World. Just wanted to share that with you this morning, fathers, because I felt it was needed and I felt it was necessary. So, fathers, we could take the lead and ensure that our daughters understand and are optimistic and appreciative of a positive world. As long as we lead them and we guide them, fathers, they're going to fall in line. I promise you they will. My 4 adult daughters, like I said, they're amazing women. I did an incredible job with my baby girls, and I'm proud, by the grace of God, to have been their father through instruction, preparation, and more than anything else, consistency. All right, fathers, that's another live stream. I live stream once a week, Fathers of Daughters, Girl Dads. I'm here. Feel free to use me as a resource. Feel free to subscribe, like, share my videos. I appreciate you, fathers. Once again, this is my way of giving back because I'm at a totally different transition in my life. I have adult daughters. I've been through every stage of development with them, birth to 18 years of age. So I know what I'm talking about. And God's been good to me and he has blessed me abundantly. Okay, fathers, until next week, mis amigos, hasta la próxima semana. Paz. Okay, fathers, this is Ephraim B. Martin. Until next week, fathers, I'm out. I'll holla at you. Peace.